Today is Friday once again, and we've got some really cool guitars to show you guys. Stick around for the end. The last one is a Gibson. That is the only one that I've ever seen in that variant. I'm very excited about it. This has been an absolutely crazy week. Every week lately has been a crazy week. And somehow, with all the chaos going on of the new shop build and travel and shows and everything else, we have somehow managed to acquire a bunch of new really cool guitars. So as always, I'll show you some of my favorites. I think if you're watching this the day that this comes out, this is actually the dealer day for the Arlington Guitar Show, and tomorrow, Saturday, is going to be the first actual day of the show. And a bunch of these guitars will be coming with us to the show. And if you're there, come check them out in person. Come say what's up. Let's get started. So starting here, this is a very Alex guitar, which selfishly is definitely a theme this week. Here we have, you know it, you've seen it here before and you're seeing it here again. This is a 2006 Gibson Les Paul double cut special with these really thin nitro finish. This one is TV yellow, which is kind of the color I think most people look for in these. I feel like I say this every time we get one of these, but this is actually the same run of guitars and same color that the Rick Beato signature was actually based on. Obviously his is blue, but the original one that he had was TV yellow, just like this one. And it had all the same specs, so it's pretty cool. This one's very worn. You can see there's like no finish in the back here, which is pretty cool. But that's kind of what these do. These wear really quickly. They play really great, and these are definitely not guitars that you should baby. You should enjoy these and understand that it's going to look more and more worn in. And if that's something you're into, then you might like these. If you want your guitar to look pristine forever, this is definitely not the guitar you want to buy. This year has been the most like dynamic year. I did.
As great as it possibly could get with all the freaking dust everywhere.
Should have videoed it. I mopped the floor for the first time in my professional life today. I've obviously mopped the floor at my parents' house when I was a kid, but they had a Swiffer. The only actual job I've ever had was a sales job at a Zoomies, and because my sales were what they were, I never got asked to do like any of the cleaning stuff, which is really cool. But during the shop build, I realized that I lack a lot of practical skills that a lot of other people probably have, so it's all give and take.
You can't win them all.
You can't. So these next two actually didn't come in like this week, but they're finally coming out, and this is the first guitar show they're actually gonna go to. And these are both from Against the Current, if that's something you're into. This one was previously Will's, and this was used to record a bunch on Past Lives and Fever. If you have not checked out those records, you should, as they are very good. They're very good at everything they do. But this is a 2016 Gibson ES339 from the Memphis factory. And this thing sounds absolutely incredible. This is seriously one of my favorite sounding guitars we've had in ever. I was actually kind of surprised Will wanted to sell it. I mean, I know he's after, I think, a proper 335, so he wanted to go a different direction, but this thing's rad. It plays really well, but these pickups and just everything here adds up to one of the best sounding Gibsons I've ever had. Very cool, and it's had some really cool history, so if that's something you're into, then here you are. So this one was recorded with a bunch, but this next one was one of Dan's guitars that was toured a bunch, and I've actually spent a lot of time with this next one. So here we have a Fano JM6 standard. Really cool guitar with a nice factory relic. This one has P90s in it now, which oddly enough, that was the factory spec for these, was P90s, but I've watched them have humbuckers in this. I've watched this kind of have all kinds of different stuff. And it ended up back with P90s at the end, and then it wasn't getting used as much, so he decided it was time to pass it along and do something new. I think the time we got this was when he got his last Les Paul, which was a Gibson Les Paul Classic. And we actually have a video of finding that guitar, so go check that out if that's something you're into. It actually has another guard with it too. I think the black one was what came with it from the factory, and then he later got this mint guard for it, which will also fit the P90s. Like I said, technically you could call this guitar original, but I wouldn't, just because I know that's had different parts in it throughout the years. It just ended up right back where it started, which is kind of funny. Keeping it with friends. This one came from Kyle, from me and Thomas's band Secret Keeper. This is a 2022 Fender Road Worn 60s reissue Stratocaster in candy apple red. This was a Chicago Music Exchange exclusive color, and They didn't make very many of them. And so I remember when these came out, Kyle hit me up. He's like, dude, we gotta get one of these in. So we made it happen. And then a year down the line, he decided he wanted to go a different direction, and we ended up getting this one in. So very cool guitar, and kind of funny that I helped him actually buy this one, and then I ended up buying it from him. Very cool to see this one in. I think we're gonna be bringing this one to the guitar show, and maybe it'll find a new home there. So if you're coming out, come check this out. Okay, so these next 4 guitars are from the same haul, and I was very excited. And I'll be honest, they're all cool, but each one gets better than the last, so let's start here. Not to devalue this one, it wouldn't be in the video if it wasn't something that I thoroughly enjoyed, but Gibson USA case. This is not a Gibson. This is an Orville by Gibson, 335 in cherry. There are currently no knobs on it, so we will need to source those before we get this one listed. This is really cool. I don't know if you can actually see it, but the label is like super torn up on this. This actually just came back from our luthier, Tom Jacobs, is when it came in. There was like something stuck over the label, and so we couldn't get to the serial or model. Obviously we knew it was a 335, but we of course wanted to get the serial number, so we had him remove that and do some other work to this one to get it going. So this is not a mint guitar by any means. There's actually quite a lot of wear. The clear coat has actually discolored quite a bit throughout. So definitely not the most collectible example of one of these, but as far as being a player, this thing's awesome. Sounds really, really good, stays in tune really nicely. I mean, as you kind of would expect with this setup, but this is a great player. Hopefully in the next couple weeks, we will get this one cooking and get it out to you guys. You can already see this one has an Epiphone Elite case, and that's because it's an Epiphone Elite. I've actually had quite a few of these, and they're always really cool. This one is a 61 reissue style Epiphone SG Elite. Very high spec, Japan-made Epiphone. And honestly, these really do rival a lot of Gibsons. I've always been a big fan of these guitars. I remember we had one in ebony in for a while, and I actually took it out and used it as a backup for a few shows. And I never ended up playing it because my main guitar never had a problem, but I always remember being like, I wouldn't be upset if I had to play that guitar because that thing's played so good. And not only is this a very well-kept example guitar and case-wise, but this actually has the original case candy. So that's pretty cool that this has lasted this long. Everything from the tag there to the booklet, and even the original hang tag, which is just awesome, as we usually don't see this kind of stuff. So a very well-kept example. I just said in the last one, if you're looking for a collector, the ES335 is not it, but it's a great player. This is a great collector. It's also a great player too, but it's got some wear, but it's all here. It's a complete set, and there's a really good example of one of these. And if you've never had one, this actually could be a good place to start. All right, these next 2 are newer, and they're really good. And I don't want to sell them, but we have a business to run. We'll start here. They are both Tokais. So here we have a Tokai Love Rock gold top with P90s. Keeping in theme with the last 2, this is a very high spec Japanese-made guitar, obviously well representing a vintage Gibson Les Paul. These guitars are really hard to come by, so when I had the opportunity to get this and the next one in, I immediately jumped on it. So I'm very grateful to have this in. I'm sure it won't last. I mean, this is a classic guitar. This is pretty undeniable, and the craftsmanship on this is really, really phenomenal. I'm usually not one to say this with guitars that are clones of other guitars, but I mean, Tokai's got something going, and there's something that they offer with their guitars that Gibson doesn't offer in their current product line, is probably the best way that I can put it. But if I was in the market for a guitar of this style and this came my way, this would more than check the box. This has like a 59-ish profile. It's not too thick, but it's definitely not slim. So kind of right in the middle, a little on the chunky side. So if that's something you're into, here it is. As of making this, I think this just went on the site. Check it out before it is gone, as who knows the next time that we'll find something like this. This next guitar I almost saved as the last one, as it felt very personal when it came to my desk. I like playing a Gibson Les Paul Special that is TV yellow. It is my guitar that I use for like every Secret Keeper show. Been using it for many years now. It's, for me, as far as Gibsons go, it's the one. And here we have literally that, but from Tokai, and I am absolutely blown away by the quality of this thing. A lot of people are really quick to compare these to just the standard Gibson USA line and what they're offering now, but this to be honest, compares more to what they're doing at the custom shop. This is great. It's nice and light. The color is immaculate, really nice board, and just everything about the fit and finish of this is all the way there. This is a nitro finish, which is cool. And it's really unique. Look at the back here. You actually have this like these green swirls kind of in the wood, which is really, really cool. This has actually a little bit thicker neck profile than mine. It's almost in like 58 territory, to be honest. It's thick, but it's really comfortable, and I really like it. And so even though it's not like my #1 neck choice, I'd play this, and I don't think it would fatigue me at all, even though I'm used to more of like a 60 style neck. But other than that, very similar specs to what I'm used to playing. And as soon as I saw a picture of this, I was like, man, that's a me guitar. And this one has the original paperwork and everything too, so. Extremely well kept example. I mean, this is a very new guitar, so I would expect that it's in this kind of condition, but I mean, this one really hasn't received much playtime yet. Whoever has it next, I hope you enjoy it, because I want this one. The second to last one, it's kind of keeping with the theme we've been in, but it came from a different deal. Once again, Gibson case, not a Gibson. This is a pre-elite Epiphone Japan-made Les Paul gold top. Another gold top, 2-in-1 video, that's pretty good. This one obviously has humbucker, so it is a bit different. But once again, amazing finish on this thing. Sounds really, really good. The neck profile is nice. This is kind of 59 to 60 territory, probably closer to 59. But this is one of those guitars that it just feels just right. And pretty high spec model. This is honestly gonna blow away a lot of stuff that you would see from Gibson USA. But yeah, really, really cool. This one I would definitely say is in collectible condition as far as guitar condition goes. Obviously we don't have the original case, we don't have the paperwork for this one, so keep that in mind. But very cool example of one of these, and I don't see these much. Usually when we see Japan Epiphone, it is an elite or an elitist, and this is from right before that. This last one's kind of crazy, because it's the only one of these that I've ever seen. And again, it was one that I saw it, I knew we had to have it. It's probably a 70s case if I had to guess. This is the chainsaw style protector case, but that was definitely not the original case. And this case is in really, really nice shape, so that's cool. Honestly, this is the kind of thing that I know a lot of you guys would prefer, that we separate out the case, as you might be looking for this one, but I like to keep the cases with the guitars they come with. If it's a good fit and it's been in it for years, I just like to keep it together. What's important is not the case. What is important is what is inside. And here we have a Gibson Les Paul Classic Light, which already is a very hard to find guitar, but I have never seen one in this metallic green finish. And I hope it's picking up on camera as good as it does in person, but this color is extraordinary. This is literally my favorite color Les Paul that we've probably ever had. That's saying something. This thing's cool, and if you don't know about the lights, this is why they're called that, because they're really, really thin. And so kind of gives you a little bit more modern playability if that's something you're into, while still getting the classic look. But these kind of, because of that, feel and play a whole lot different than your standard Les Paul. So I know this is something that a lot of people will hate, and that's totally cool. But for those of you who are open to it, definitely get your hands on one of these if you can and play it. Just see if you like it, because it's definitely got its own vibe. It's very unique to this model that I don't think you can find with any other Gibson. It's almost like somewhere in between an SG and a Les Paul. So if that's something you're into, this is definitely worth checking out. But I did my research and I could not find another example of this in this color. So if you've seen one before, please let me know. I'm very interested to know, how rare these are. I don't know how many of these were made. It doesn't have anything that says it's like limited edition or anything. So not sure if this was a shop order or what the deal is here, but very cool and very unique guitar. And as a bonus, hard to find case too, so. I think that is a good way to wrap this up. As I think I said earlier, this week has been absolutely crazy. We have been putting all the hours in at our new shop that we've been building out. It's looking really, really good. It's coming along slowly but surely, and I'm very excited to get moved into there and start that new chapter. Thank you guys for sticking around for all of this. Lots of new stuff coming up in the very near future. Some new travel videos coming up soon, new guitar show videos, new shop builds, and all the stuff you guys like seeing. As always, we appreciate your time, and we hope to see you guys in another video again soon. Bye.